Straight ahead on CCX News, one of the biggest problems facing restaurants today, so much so it's forcing a Robbinsdale restaurant to cut back on hours. Plus, a new law attempts to get drivers to think more seriously about school bus safety. But first,
it's something I always remember.
It's just chaos. There was car horns going, people crowding around, people talking, people screaming.
Local responders remember the night the whole bridge went down. CCX News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. It's one of the most traumatic events in Minnesota history.
Tuesday marks 10 years since the 35W bridge collapsed into the Mississippi River. 13 people were killed and 145 others were hurt. First responders from the Northwest Metro and all over the state rushed to the scene. Reporter Sonia Goins shows us how their lives have changed since the bridge collapse.
The 35W bridge is one of the most well-traveled roads in the metro. And to see it today, you would never know what occurred here almost 10 years ago.
It looked like it was a scene out of a movie. You had plumes of smoke, you had the bridge collapse.
At the height of rush hour traffic, the 35W bridge toppled, sending dozens of vehicles into the Mississippi River.
I remember the school bus, or probably the school bus and the kids on it.
Gary Hendrickson is the deputy chief for the Brooklyn Center Fire Department. When the bridge collapsed, he worked for the Department of Public Safety, Homeland Security, Emergency Management.
I was in the dispatch room when it came out.
Hendrickson was also a part-time Plymouth firefighter.
I was up on the bridge when they landed the Black Hawk helicopters on the bridge at the time, because obviously they weren't sure exactly what had taken place.
Images of that dreadful day are forever embedded in his mind.
I think it was a tasty bread truck, if I recall, that was kind of impinged underneath one of the decks that had fallen down and actually was on fire. And I recall hearing the screams of the driver from within it, you know, being on scene and people trying to effect a rescue with him. 4
members of the Maple Grove Police Department also scrambled to help survivors.
I think we both took a second to realize what just happened.
Missy Parker and Jim Kirky were patrol officers at the time.
I remember the bridge being collapsed on the train.
Yeah.
We were on that end of the bridge.
The responders had to fight the crowd that was moving in the opposite direction.
But it was just, I remember it was just chaos. There was car horns going, people crowding around, people talking, people screaming.
They also had to deal with the bridge swaying.
They were saying, no, it's moving, the bridge is moving.
Federal investigators say a design defect caused the structure to fall. They say gusset plates were thin, only half as thick as they should have been.
Meanwhile, the first responders received awards for their heroic actions. Although it's recognition they gladly give back to avoid the tragedy that unfolded on August 1st, 2007.
That's not something that you want, that's for sure. I mean, it's great to be recognized, but at the same time, you know, all the tragedy that came out of that whole situation, you know. But it's part of the job.
Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Missy Parker says something positive did come out of the tragedy and heartbreak. She says Minnesotans learned to work together as one during a time of crisis. On Tuesday, a private ceremony will be held for first responders, survivors, and their families. The event will be held at the Minneapolis Emergency Operations Training Facility. That's not too far from where the bridge collapsed.
A Brooklyn Park family will probably have to find somewhere else to live after a fire early Sunday. The fire broke out in the 7100 block of Ladd Parkway around 2:30 Sunday morning. Fire officials say flames could be seen on the backside of the home. It also caused extensive damage inside the home. An LP tank on the deck may have helped fuel the flames. Cause is under investigation. The owner and his parents were able to get out safely.
Osseo is taking a closer look at how it designs streets and how more bikers and pedestrians can share the road with cars. City officials will attend a workshop this week called Complete Streets. No immediate changes to streets are planned, but the focus is on designing safer access for all transportation types.
For a long time, Osseo has been a place where you can walk and bike safely. Some of our streets don't accommodate that as well as others, and we've been realizing that as we go through long-range planning. So Complete Streets for us right now is an opportunity to make sure that all of our streets accommodate all users.
There are challenges when rethinking streets, including the perception that a wider road is always safer. Design options that could be considered include bike lanes and traffic calming improvements. Osseo could adopt a complete streets policy at a later date. Robbinsdale will have one less restaurant where people can eat lunch on Mondays.
The owner of Nonna Rosa's Italian restaurant made the announcement today on social media that they are scaling back their business hours. And Delane Cleveland joins us now with more on why. Delane?
Mike and Alex, the Twin Cities has experienced a restaurant boom over the last few years. While there's no shortage of places to eat, there is a shortage of people experienced enough to cook food at those restaurants.
I just want our customers to know that we put our heart in everything, and if we need a little extra time to rest that heart, we hope they understand.
Nonna Rosa's has tried to recruit new chefs and cooks without much success. Part of the problem, according to owner Tina Sulia, is that there's not a great method of recruiting new restaurant talent. In addition, there's been an explosion of new Twin Cities restaurants that have thinned out the talent pool. It's also hard to find people in the summer who willingly want to work over a hot oven. As a result, they decided to cut back on hours so their staff members, particularly the main chef, can get some rest.
I mean, we have to cut back a little bit on our hours of operation simply because it's the same people doing it and it's a lot of work. And, you know, when you get to the point where you're physically like in pain because you've been standing on your legs for 12 hours a day with like 5 minutes to use a restroom or maybe sip some water, you're getting to the point of like health and wellness also being an issue.
Well, 2 years ago, nearby restaurants Travail and Pig Ate My Pizza decided to close on Mondays because they also had a hard time finding available chefs. Sulia said they're not ready to take that step just yet. Mike?
All right, Delane, thanks. Drivers who fail to stop for a school bus will now face larger fines. New state law takes effect Tuesday, increasing the penalties from $300 to $500. Failing to stop for school buses has become a serious issue in Minnesota. In 2016, police statewide issued more than 1,300 tickets for stop arm violations.
We get quite a few reports, and we turn them over to the city police whenever the violations occur. Many of them they can't get because they don't get the license plates, so we need at least the license plate number to pursue it.
And drivers should stop at least 20 feet from the front of the bus so kids have room to cross the street. A First Student is teaming up with Wayzata Public Schools to once again offer students and parents a unique opportunity to learn about bus safety. It's a way for kindergartners and new students to calm their anxiety about riding a school bus for the first time. Students actually take a ride on a big yellow school bus, and the program will be offered 4 times this Thursday, August 3rd at 6:30 and 7:30 p.m. and then Monday, August 7th at 6:30 and 7:30 p.m. It takes place at Central Middle School in Plymouth, and just show up. No reservation is required.
Visitors to French Regional Park in Plymouth are seeing plenty of changes these days. That's where a 3-phase construction project has now shifted to phase 2. New pavement is being put down. Pervious pavers are also being installed to filter rainwater that flows into Medicine Lake. When the project is finished in early November, there will be many other improvements too.
Basically, this is just kind of a facelift for the park. We're replacing all the curb and gutter, all new pavements. Everything should be a lot smoother for rollerbladers and bikers as they go through the park. We created a safer crossing for the regional trail that comes into the park.
During phase 2 and 3 of the construction, the main park entrance will stay closed. Still ahead, a new Brooklyn Park business campaign that extends all the way to outer space.
Plus, a Brooklyn Park girls softball team battles through the loss of their beloved coach to end the season on a high note.
But first, the Muggies return. More humid on Tuesday with a chance for afternoon storms. We'll be right back.
This fall, a new ad campaign will be launched about Brooklyn Park businesses.
Its focus is on manufacturing and the products that are being made in Brooklyn Park. In this week's Business Matters, a look at the intent and the impact of this new campaign. From the outside of this business, you would would never know this Brooklyn Park company made parts that are orbiting in space.
We have 3 parts that are on NASA's Juno probe that has arrived at Jupiter in last year.
Components for NASA's Juno probe are just one example of the millions of different parts made at Diversified Plastics for the aerospace, automotive, industrial, and medical device industries.
There's a lot of these big boxes in business parks that people don't know what's happening inside, and so we're trying to break open those boxes and show what amazing products are being built here in Brooklyn Park that are being shipped around the region and around the world.
Manufacturing is big business in Brooklyn Park, employing 20% of the city's workforce.
Money is coming back into Brooklyn Park to produce jobs and tax base.
It's why the city is launching a 2-year campaign called Built in Brooklyn Park. It's designed to spread awareness by showcasing the city's manufacturing companies, the products they make, and their economic impact.
Our first priority is we want to make sure that the businesses that are here in Brooklyn Park are staying and thriving and growing.
With a wide variety of manufacturers, from those in medical device and biotech to pharmaceutical and electrical engineering, the Built in Brooklyn Park campaign also alerts other companies that Brooklyn Park is move-in ready, with 1,000 acres open for development.
We want to make sure that people understand that we are open for business and we have many opportunities for new precision manufacturers to come in as well.
Back at Diversified Plastics,
These are suture cartridges that we do for a customer.
This manufacturer is celebrating 40 years in business in Brooklyn Park. The company's success and longevity, along with its NASA components, make Diversified Plastics the perfect choice for the first company featured in the Built in Brooklyn Park campaign.
To be part of the community for 40 years and being recognized for that is a great honor.
Built in Brooklyn Park advertisements will start appearing in local newspapers and journals this fall. In October, an exhibit of products made in the city will be displayed at the annual Business Forward Forum. Still ahead, 25 years of views in the valley.
But first, highlights from championship games at the big Crystal Frolics softball tournament. John Jacobson is in next.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. The Crystal Frolics softball tournament has a long tradition. Championships were on the line Sunday. MGK featuring a number of former high school athletes from the area in the Silver Division final. The Silverbacks from St. Paul strike early. Jeff Sunsmo converts a 2-run homer. They get 6 runs in the first. Down 9-2, MGK erupts in the 5th. Park Center grad Jomar Larkins drops in a hit in front of the outfielders. Former Armstrong and Gophers hockey player Derek Peltier scores. After a quiet first 4 innings, MGK has a huge 5th inning, capped by this grand slam from Peltier. They get 11 runs and go up 13-9. And there's some great defense, too. Check out the diving grab by Silverbacks and left fielder Marcus Fitzgerald for the out. And they do it in the infield, too. A slick 6-4-3 double play helps to end an MGK threat. It's tied after 7 innings, and in the 8th, the Silverbacks win it. Sunsmo drives it to the fence to score Aaron Foss with the winning run. The Silverbacks win the Silver Division 14-13. The Gold is the top division, and some very good players took the field for the title game. Chanticleer met up with the Blue Line for the championship. Chanticleer needing 1 win for the title. Blue Line starts strong. Former Park Center athlete Kurt Sand takes it deep to the tree beyond the fence in right center. They get 4 in the top of the first inning. Bottom of the second, Chanticleer's Travis All delivers a hit to center. Easily score Craig Arndt. They pull within 5-4 through 2 innings. And Chanticleer surges ahead in the 4th inning. It's Nathan Gessel here with the hit, scoring John Steibel and Sean Casey, and they're just getting started. Ryan O'Connell's hit scores Gessel. They get 10 runs in the inning. Chanticleer wins the title. 16-14 is the final. The Brooklyn Park Flames 10 and under girls softball team had a great summer and played in the state tournament this past weekend. But the girls played that final tournament of the season with heavy hearts. Here's Jason Malillo with more.
The Brooklyn Park Flames 10U slow-pitch softball team went undefeated in its regular season and played back through the losers bracket to win its end-of-the-year tournament and qualify for state.
We're going to state! I'm so excited.
A lot of the girls on this team have played together since they were 5, which made what happened on July 14th even harder to take. On that day, the team lost its longtime coach, Julie Bichond, to cancer.
I think Julie did a lot for these girls over the years, starting as a coach at when they were age 5 for 5 years, taught them how to persevere and to always be positive.
She was very important because she was our coach from the start, and she was very encouraging to help us build up with our team.
Julie is remembered by her players as a kind person, a motivator, a teacher, and the lessons she brought to the girls go beyond the softball field.
If you had a hard time, she would always just be there and brighten you up. She was always positive and made us really positive, and never would get mad at you if you made a mistake.
The entire Flames family has rallied around the Bichonds, especially Julie's daughter, 10-year-old Maria.
She's been very emotional, but what a true fighter for her mom, and supports her mom and helped her mom and loved her mom all the way through to the end. Even to her very last breath, Maria was there with her, and I'm sure that Julie's there with her in spirit every day, and especially on the softball field.
Despite going through cancer treatment, Julie never missed a game this summer. Her players say that showed just how committed she was to this team.
Incredible that she still wanted to be there for us, and she just was always there for us, and I would feel like that really lifted our spirit and made us all strive to get better and better and better.
The Flames won the 10U state tournament this past weekend, an ending that would have made Julie proud. But really, this season was about more than wins or losses or championships. It was about a coach that was always there for these girls, and in a way, maybe always will be. Jason Malolo, CCX Sports.
Flames finished the season with a record of 23-1-1. The girls wore ribbons with a J on them all weekend. We'll be right back.
And finally, a photo gallery to explore the arts in Golden Valley.
The new Golden Valley Arts is hosting the first photography retrospective. Winning pictures from the city's views of the valley for the last 25 years will be on display as part of the Arts and Music Festival. They're calling it 25 Years in the Valley.
Some of my favorites are the ones that are the unexpected photographs of Golden Valley, of how cool it is, and it's just a matter of, I've never seen that. I wonder where that was. I want to look into that photograph more, find out from the photographer where it was, how they got that shot, and, oh, I didn't know that was in Golden Valley.
Brand new reproductions of the photos will be framed and enlarged for the Arts and Music Festival, which is set for September 16th. And that'll do it for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here Tuesday at 4.